You're watching RPTV, and my name is Kedar Ahmed. We last spoke with neighborhood community officers Farzad Ghotbi and Mircea Biga in February of 2024. Since their last update, Regent Park has seen its fair share of developments, both uplifting and challenging. Despite the community's valiant efforts, a recent shooting has cast a somber shadow over the neighborhood, serving as a stark reminder of the importance of continued vigilance and support. In our interview with the officers, they answered numerous questions related to various programs and initiatives that neighborhood community officers have been involved in. Community safety, the recent incident at pro-Palestine demonstration, and they speak about their involvement with youth and newcomers as well. Now let's go and join Officers Ghotbi and Biga as they share some of their many concerns and activities that community police are up to in Regent Park community.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's actually a historic day, the eclipse today. So as everyone trying to enjoy this historic moment, we're here to bring you some updates from Regent Park. We're glad to be here with Regent Park Focus TV. Obviously, without you guys, we would not be able to really be able to communicate through you guys there to give all the stats and all the updates. So we really do appreciate it. As far as the last quarterly meeting that we've had, we can share a few things. Yes, it's been pretty busy. We can certainly say that we still have a very special detail that's only designated for Regent Park, which is we have a police scout car with 2 police officers who are patrolling Regent Park 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're not responding to any calls. They're just there for visibility and safety, which has already paid dividends given our unfortunate last homicide we just recently had. We were able to actually capture the person who was accused of committing these murders. So that alone has paid a lot of dividends when it comes to investing in having this extra police car patrolling Regent Park, and not to mention the fact that it does deter a lot of crime, just having a car going around the area as well. We have your neighborhood officers like us who are there all the time during the day, going to businesses and schools and all the stakeholders, just doing our regular visits and catching up and finding out what needs to be done to make sure the community stays safe, to make sure that we work together, to make sure that we continue to have programs to bring to this region here so that we stay vibrant, we stay connected, and we stay obviously transparent. As far as statistic, we know just in the last couple of weeks, one of our primary response officers working doing the 911 calls, they were able to stop a vehicle here in Regent Park, which resulted into an arrest of multiple people in the car with an illegal handgun and also ammunition. So that was a pretty significant arrest that happened just not long right after the homicide that we had in Regent Park. So we're pretty confident that we definitely stopped something that was about serious to happen. Whether it would happen here in Regent Park or outside of here, regardless, it definitely was stopped. So that was very significant. Us ourselves, we're dealing with a lot of thefts, either motor vehicle thefts or bike thefts. In our case, we had electric bicycle, which I know a lot of people do have. We were in the area on foot, and we had someone approach to us that his electric bike was stolen. Lucky enough, he had air tags on the e-bike, and we always encourage, when something like this happens, please report it. Don't take actions on your own. And this individual approached us, and we were able to use the GPS on the air tag and actually locate the very expensive e-bike here in Regent Park in one of the buildings here. We were able to go floor by floor and eventually locate this e-bike and be able to give this e-bike back to the individual. So lesson is here is like whenever people buy bicycles or electrical bicycles or scooters, make sure that gets registered through the Toronto Police website. There's a link there where you can put in your serial number and register with Toronto Police. So that way, if something happens, we're able to at least try to use that as our evidence to try to get that vehicle back. So it's important to do that. And also, it's important that, if something this does happen, to contact the police to make sure that, we can help. Don't take any actions on your own, because you never know who you're going to be dealing with. So that's another stat that we could bring forward for you guys. We're still doing our regular patrols in Regent Park, and we also just do our Zoom meetings. It's very important to have this communication going in order for everyone to know what's happening, and basically understanding that everyone's doing their part, and hopefully by communicating, whether through a Zoom meeting or whether it's in person or here even with the Focus TV, we're able to address whatever the issue may be before it escalates into something else. And yeah, so that's pretty much it since we had our last quarter meeting.
So just like Farzad mentioned before, our focus is to be present in Regent Park during our shift 7 days in a row. We try to be present. We try to patrol the area and answer to all the calls from the sometimes directly addressed to us on our work cell phone. People are calling us. The more they know our contact and they know what we're doing and what area we respond to, they call us directly. But sometimes there are calls generated by our dispatchers, come through the emergency line. We try to respond to those. But additionally, we do have several programs running right now. One I can mention is it's a fitness program for young people in Regent Park. This is run with funding from Proaction Cops and Kids, where we have a group of youth from the neighborhood. We meet on a bi-weekly basis at the community center. The community center is graciously lending us the space so we can conduct these workout sessions. We also talk about healthy lifestyle, nutrition, and obviously the kids, they have a lot of questions, so we try to guide them and provide them with the best influence possible. With the seniors, I can tell you we have Muslim Welfare Center that operates out of the Fred Victor building at 40 Oak Street. They have a weekly Sunday meals program. We are involving our volunteers, many students from Police Foundation, Centennial College, and other volunteers from the area. We get them involved in assisting us with the Meals on Wheels program, where we're actually bringing meals to the seniors in 252 Sackville Street, and we assist in distributing these free meals, which are extremely important for the elderly population here. Not only the aspect of providing them with a warm meal, but also they really appreciate having someone show care and attention to them. They feel isolated and abandoned many times at that age. They lost a lot of their families or friends, and sometimes we're the only ones knocking on their door for the week. Additionally, there's a program led by other volunteers from the neighborhood on Wednesdays where they conduct like a dance program and a fitness program custom for elderly residents in the same building. Other than that, we also stay in touch with the YIPI students. YIPIs are like Youth in Policing Initiative. Sometimes we are able to bring them to the community and assist us in the various events and activities that take place in the neighborhood. Fresh is going to be next week. Actually, we're going to celebrate Eid with the majority of the residents here in Regent Park. The celebration is supposed to be taking place on the 10th of April. Around the Daniel Spectrum here in this building, or hopefully outside if the weather is going to permit. Actually, it's this week. Sorry. So yeah, we're going to be definitely engaged with that. Also, on top of in the same line, paying a lot of attention to the religious establishments here in Regent Park. We have several mosques, and due to the international tensions, you know, in the Middle East, we want to assure everybody that we're impartial and we're here to support everybody to express their faith, you know, express their feelings, and you know, we try to mediate and bring calm and you know, reassurance that Toronto Police is there, you know, to support and assist and obviously serve all communities.
After experiencing zero gun violence in 2023, Regent Park faced a tragic loss with the recent shooting. In light of this, how is the Toronto Police Service prioritizing mental health support and implementing prevention measures to ensure community safety and well-being?
So I'll talk about this a little bit. Unfortunately, I was working on the day of the incident you mentioned, where we had we can call it a mass shooting pretty much, because 3 people have been shot, 2 lost their life that day, and another one got injured. It was an extremely traumatic event for the family, but not only. The officers responding to the call, they felt it. Myself, knowing the family and you know, having a pretty close relationship with the members of that family, it struck home pretty hard. And I can only imagine the residents, the family, the neighbors of the family, how deeply they were affected by this. However, just as Farzad mentioned, we were lucky enough to have officers in the area that responded immediately, and they were able to apprehend the suspect in this homicide. Obviously, it's an ongoing investigation, and we can't really, we don't, not only we can't, but also we don't have all the details of the investigation. Obviously, there's many theories, you know, going out there, you know, from gang affiliation to mental health to drug use, but those are all hypotheses at this point. There's nothing confirmed. Obviously, homicide unit is working on this case diligently, and they will bring some more answers when the time is right. In terms of mental health, we are working pretty closely with several organizations. We also have a focus table at you know, Toronto Police. They have now this what's called focus table in each division, where we refer people who might need assistance, not only in terms of mental health, but for various reasons. And several stakeholders and organizations are you know, jumping on, and they are involved in assisting these people. In the end, you know, we can do our best, you know, by being present, by listening to the community's concerns. What we try to do, even with your help, is reaching out to all the residents in the neighborhood, make sure they know who we are, they know how the system works, and they don't feel scared to call police when needed. Not only police, but other, you know, emergency services. So yeah, that's you know, pretty much, you know, our involvement, constant involvement, and trying to be here all the time, ears on the ground, and pass on, you know, what the community actually needs. That's pretty much our role. So that's what we're trying to do.
We actually had Councillor Moise attend 51 Division last week, and we had a mass meeting with all the members of the community response unit and the neighborhood officers. And we actually spoke about all this current events and how to improve our tactics and how to improve our relationships. And moving forward with the summer coming, obviously things get more busier. So we had a very positive, good discussion and worked on some of the solutions. Officers even had a lot of good questions to ask Councillor Moise as to what they're also doing as well from their end to make sure that, you know, the community is being looked after, and so that way we can both work together on the same page, so we're not opposite of one another. One thing that I can say in terms of the de-escalation things that we were spoken about, I can tell you factually that all officers in Toronto Police, we do get constant training, and the training is mainly, mostly all about de-escalation. That's our number one, is to make sure we de-escalate first before moving on to the next step. So that's our main priority, is to de-escalate, because essentially when you de-escalate any situation, that way it's a win-win situation. We don't have to resort to any unnecessary force, and we want to make sure the other parties are all staying safe, and everyone benefits from it, from de-escalation. But unfortunately, de-escalation doesn't work all the time. But our training is directed to do de-escalate first. So that's what we always do. And when it comes to protests, when you have a lot of people showing up that obviously have a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of energy that's going on, and they want to bring their message out, and we certainly there for them to support their message, because that's what Toronto Police does, is to make sure that the assembly is done lawfully, and it's organized, and they're protected, because they're coming on the streets. Streets obviously is not safe. You got the vehicles, you have all the different aspects that's involved in the open area. So that's why we have the presence of the police, to make sure that the demonstrations are being taking place safely, so that everyone is safe. As far as if there's any situation that comes out of it, this is nothing new to us. We've always dealt with demonstrations in the past where things gone out of hand, things gone out of control, or maybe it's overcrowded, or whatever, what have you. And what we do is, number one, is we try to figure out a way to de-escalate it first, or we try to give warnings. We try to educate people as much as possible before going to the next step. And in any situation, you can speak to any officers, that's what they would want to do first, because the last thing you want to do is to create a situation where already you have people who are amped up, and if something happens, you're talking about not just one or two people, you're talking hundreds of people are going to get even more upset, and it's not a good situation to be in. So just like how this past week we had Toronto Police from the headquarters, they released a press release by Deputy Chief saying that we're there to support any freedom of speech, any kind of demonstration, but as long as it's done lawfully. And that's the underlying word is lawfully. And that's something that needs to be relayed constantly out to the public, because it's one thing to go out there to talk about how you're feeling about a certain situation and to bring awareness to that situation. It's another if you think that you can do whatever you want. And we're living in a structured society. We live in a country that we're inclusive to everyone here, and for that it's basically called having mutual respect. So not just for yourself, but to the members of the public as well. So you have to keep that in mind, that it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. Having those kind of demonstrations, it needs to be kept in mind that it has to be orderly. We have to work within law and order, because otherwise we'll have just chaos, and that's the last thing we want to deal with. That's not good. And also, most importantly, is like, if you want to deliver a message, you want to deliver it in a peaceful way, so that people can actually understand. It's the same thing for police officers. If we go out there and start yelling and screaming people at every single person that makes a wrong turn, are they really going to understand what we're saying? No, they're not. So we do it in the best way possible, so that people understand what the message is. And that's what we ask from people as well when they're going out there to demonstrate, to use extreme caution, be safe, be organized, stay within the law, and things will be okay. And this is what we do as Canada, and this is no other country really does demonstrations like we do here. When other countries, they're throwing tear gas and all that kind of stuff. They don't even entertain the idea of a demonstration. Whereas here, we actually do. We actually try to speak with the organizer. We organize it in advance so that the demonstration can be run smoothly. We ask for the routes. We ask how many people. We ask for how many volunteers, and we bring extra officers. We guide them through the streets. We make sure that they can carry on their message. So that's what we do, and that's I can guarantee that no other police service in the entire world that does that. We're the only ones. I'm coming from a country where I can't even look at a police officer straight in the face. So let's not forget that Canada is one of the best countries to live in, where it's accepting everyone from around the world. But all we're asking is that to be kind to one another and to work within the law.
As I mentioned, police presence, like us being present and being visible in the neighborhood, being approachable, having an open line of communication through your support and help, Focus TV, through the quarterly meetings, through the monthly safety network meetings. We try to stay engaged and listen to the concerns of the community. We try to spread the word about our personal contact information, so people can reach out to us when they need to do so. Sometimes they do trust familiar face, like myself or Farzad, the other two officers that work on opposite us in Regent Park, then calling the non-emergency or emergency line where any other officer might answer the call. So I think that's the most important thing, being out there, being open to listen to the concerns from the community. We can do this only together, because we don't have all the answers. We're police officers, we work here. We spend most of the time in this neighborhood. Half of our life is here. And so we're very involved, and we want to see this neighborhood thriving and doing well. And obviously the change is huge from 15, 20 years ago to where we are right now. But obviously there's a work in progress, and we are open to listen to all the concerns, and hopefully together with the community we find the best answers moving forward. In terms of increasing, building trust and building bridges with the community, I think that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years. Again, being here and the community sees the results. It's not that, they express some concern and they never hear back, which probably happened in the past. Now we always get back. We always try to action on the concerns from the community. And I think that's the most important. And the fact that you have the same officers in the neighborhood for a long period of time, because, if you would have a frequent rotation of officers. Now, while I told the officer, Officer A, I told him something, but now he's gone. Officer B now came in, has no idea about your concerns. So having that stability, I think, and us being present, and it's also, for us is a testament that we're here to at least try to do a good job, in protecting and serving this community.
Yeah, so June the 3rd coming up, we're going to have another quarterly meeting. And we're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to actually bring Crime Stoppers to come and speak as to how the whole system works with when you call 222 tips. We had a lot of concerns in the past that, how do you trust 222 tips? Are they affiliated to the police? How well their information is protected? And rather than us answering it, because we're not in that system, we're outside of that system, we're collaborating with them, and we're going to actually bring them to do a complete presentation and educational piece on how their office works and what they do with the information once they receive it, and how it gets actioned, and how that information is well protected, to make sure we protect the identity of the people that are trying to stay anonymous. Because we do understand when you live in a neighborhood, the last thing you want is your name maybe to get out there, and perhaps they may feel unsafe. So we have that avenue, that option, and which we'll bring for the quarterly meeting. As well, me and Mircea, we totally believe in, the youth are definitely our future. We work diligently with the youth in Regent Park, whether through our Pro Action program, or through our volunteer work program that we have developed. Like we have network of young volunteers who are actually taking charge and assisting people in here in Regent Park, and they're taking ownership, and we're giving that ownership to them, and they're owning it, and it's becoming part of their regular routine. So once that happens, well, that's an investment, that's a long-term investment that we believe that's going to pay off, because eventually they're going to become adults, and they're going to really own what they're doing, and give them that sense of responsibility, that ownership of where they're living, and also perhaps giving back once they get older to someone younger than they are, and that can kind of continue. These are the things that we're constantly trying to do, because as we see that some of these kids time goes by quick, and next thing you know, our young ones are older. So what system do we have in place to assist them? So rather than us just talking about arrests and all that, so for sure that does happen. Our main focus is to empower people, even whether they're young people, whether they're elderly. We're there for them, just to empower them to kind of continue to engage with their own community, because we come from the era here in 51 Division where there was pretty much zero engagement with one another here, whether it came to do from the police side to the community, whether it came from whatever resources that we had back in the day where pretty much there was none. Now we have one of the most resourceful neighborhoods in the entire city, and we want to make sure people are aware of it, and they're using it for their benefits and their families. And we get a lot of newcomers that come here, that we try to welcome them and to make sure that they're not scared of the police, and we gain that trust with them right off the bat. We're involved with Project Hope, with the Newcomers Assistance Program, where we actually do information seminars for the newcomers to welcome them here and to give them some good advice on how to become a good citizen. And if they do get housed actually in Regent Park, which we have the largest housing in all of Canada, concentrated here, and we have more than 60% new immigrants here, we go to their homes and we try to stay connected with them as much as we can, so that they don't feel isolated, that they feel welcome, and they have options of going to some of the programs that we have here. So these are things that we do because we're ourselves, both myself and Mircea, we're both immigrants, and we all came from different parts of the world to be here, to have a better future. And when we came, we didn't have any options back in the day, and we kind of had to figure out our own way, and sometimes in a hard way. So now that we have gained those knowledge, and we're in a position to be able to give back, that's what we're trying to do, so that they have an easier way of integrating into society. And basically, the last thing we want from people is we don't want them to get in trouble first and then they learn after. We want to give that educational piece right off the bat as they get here, so that it prevents them from getting in trouble and not knowing what happened, because the laws are different from other countries. The regulations are. We don't expect people to understand everything when they come here. It takes time for them to understand. And also, they become victims of fraud. They become victims of different types of crimes. So we want to equip them with as much information as we can, so that they don't go through all those unnecessary hardships. So, and also that the fact that they have that first contact with the police here, that they gain that trust, that they know that they can come to us without fearing getting deportation, without fearing of getting physically beaten. Sometimes it happens in other countries. So we want to give that to them, so that they at least feel that, give that hope. That's what we call the Project Hope. So you have that hope that they're going to have a better life here.
Additionally, I just want to mention, being April already, the good weather starting, we're already planning a couple events in the community. One, I just spoil give the secret away. July 25th, we're organizing something with the City of Toronto, where youth from St. Jamestown, Moss Park, and Regent Park will come together on the MLSC field and have a sports day. We're going to have many stakeholders present, us officers, and create a positive environment for these youth, for these children, to get involved. Also, the traditional Regent Park barbecue that takes place in the big park here. That's another big event that we're looking forward to. So these are little steps, we take in order to engage with the community and the youth, and especially because traditionally the bad relationship that was between police and the community was based not on direct interaction with the police, but by third party. So they hear stories, or sometimes from the media, or from other people. Oh, police did this, police did that. But now they can actually see themselves. How police officers conduct themselves and how they act, and this is a huge opportunity for us to actually bring education and hopefully change the perception of a lot of these young members of this community.
Yeah, we had an amazing opportunity just a few weeks ago where through collaborating with our chief in command and our CPU, which stands for Community Engagement Policing Unit, where we basically they look after all the other neighborhood officers within the city of Toronto. They put an event together, and they invited us, all the neighborhood officers, especially ones that who are involved with the Project Hope, with the newcomers, where we had 250 members from Gaza, Palestine, coming to Canada, and they already had some of their members of the family they already lived here in Canada, so they had that connection, and that's why they were able to come here. So they were not just necessarily just random refugees that were brought here. There was family connection here, and through however they were able to come, that connection piece was there, and that's why they came here. So as a show of support and unity, our Toronto Police Service, through our command and through our CPU, and they invited the neighborhood officers, and along with our Project Hope team, we welcomed these new members from Gaza, most of them being children. They came here, and we actually had iftar with them, because this is the month of Ramadan, the holiest month for all the Muslims around the world, and they were all fasting, and we had iftar with them. We prayed with them. The Muslim officers prayed with them, and our command deputy chief, they welcomed them, and they did a speech. And what we did from the team Project Hope, we assisted with bringing them hot halal meals, and we actually brought gifts for the children and some gift certificates. And we actually had other stakeholders to come and assist with us to bring even more support. Humanity is one of them, actually, that they came here. They're very much involved with assisting people that are new in Canada, and it was a historic event for all of us, to be able to do such a thing, especially for children who don't understand what's happening. They don't understand the politics. They don't understand what's going on in the world. All they want to do is just be loved, and all they want to be just safe. And obviously, them coming to Canada, we want to make sure that they felt safe, and they knew that they had a home here, and really celebrate that and have them start their new life here in Toronto. So that was a very positive event for all of us to go through. Although yes, we understand that the tensions are high in the Middle East, and war is happening, and all kinds of things are happening, and it's polarizing people, it's dividing people. But our message was not division, it's unity. We always said, especially coming from Toronto Police, we're impartial to everyone. We're here to support anyone that comes here. We're not here to pass any judgment, but once you're here, we make sure that that they feel safe. That piece is very, very important. And also from our team Project Hope, we even had all the volunteers. We brought all the young people to help us and assist us, and to give back and to give that hope again to these people who basically had no hope whatsoever. And some of them had lost a lot of family members, and through some of the bombings, and this was very unfortunate, but they made it here, and we gave them that hope so that they can continue living here in peace. And And that's what we want for everyone to know, that, we're here for peace and love and prosperity, and be able to grow and not to have to worry about, our differences, put aside our differences and focus on all the positives, not the negatives.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please follow our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.